Hello, fellow gamers. I'm Gloryhound, and this is
DrGloryhogg. I was reading Patrick's thing about Kingdom Rush where he was a little bit nervous about it, watching our playthrough where we died immediately. But then they were like, oh, it's not super hard at all. So I was like reading it, and then you switch the camera
and
over.
then you start feeling really bad about it.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, oh, you don't find it super hard at all.
We're just really bad at Kingdom Rush, like so bad.
We were playing it on super hard mode.
I'm really glad to hear that, Patrick, because
I'm glad somebody's winning it.
Exactly. I'm super happy somebody's winning it, and my suspicion was correct. We're just really bad at it, I think, honestly.
I feel like we do better at co-op off camera, and that's because of a few reasons. One of them is I help out a little bit. When you're off camera and you roll a die or something, you're like, it could be a 6 or a 1. It looks like a 6 to me. You know, like, kind of, changes things up a little bit. You've got time. There's no pressure.
But it was great content. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to play. We really enjoyed the game. It was so good.
It was worth it, yeah. I mean, it's like her. She kicks my butt all the time, but I still enjoy hanging out with her.
Alan, so my Dice Lord adventure has been pushed twice. Oh, that's terrible, Petter. I'm sorry to hear that. Welcome to everybody in our chat today. We have so many people in chat. You have Patrick, Battlecry, Mepper, Jim. Thank you, Alan. Thank you for joining us. Who else am I forgetting? Stefan, Omar, that's right.
A bunch of people. Hey, we're glad you guys are here because I need someone to convince me to buy a Euro game. And somebody was telling me on Discord that Primal is a Euro game, so that by supporting Primal, I'm supporting local Euros. So I guess that makes me...
How is Primal a Euro game?
That makes me a hero, I think. I think that makes me a hero by supporting that game.
Doctor, I just want to go ahead and tell you that I did not super look at Primal because I knew you were going to be ridiculous about it. So you were running the Primal portion of this.
Pressure!
Because I knew that it was going to get ridiculous. I just didn't even invest the time in it because I knew that as soon as I mentioned, well, today we're talking about Primal, Doctor was just going to go on a tangent.
Coming in like Kyan West and be like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but I got some stuff to say.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Hello, Kabuki.
Oh, you ordered it? So I know of a fact, at least 3 people that have ordered the Dwellings today, because it dropped today for Dwellings of Eldervale.
Dwellings so good. Hello, Studio Lanniston. Hello, Andrew. How are you all doing today? Primal all the way for Cohen. Absolutely. I think everybody's super excited about Primal. But what are we talking about first?
This is Alan's number 1 from last week. Is Tinner's Trail by Martin Wallace. Tinner's Trail by Martin Wallace.
This is by Alley Cat Games. It should it should have about 1 to 5 players. Should last about 90 minutes. This is the one that is the reprint. So they're like redoing it. They're like deluxifying it, quotation marks, making it all pretty. They're adding it from, it was 2 to 4, and now I think it's 1 to 5. So like, I guess they're adding a solo campaign. I believe this one was the 1 to 5 on this.
Yeah.
And DrGloryhogg, what are your first thoughts?
You get a mine tin. I mean, everybody wants the mine tin, right? Like, what's more exciting than mining it? It's playing a game where you get to simulate it. No, I think it's got some things that look interesting in it that I liked. The biggest one being is that when you hold your cards up, they have like letters on the back of them, like A, B, C, I believe. And so if somebody's got that A card in their hand, you know the gist of what it is, but you don't know exactly what it is. So like your A card could be different than my A card, but you know that it's going to have a specific mechanism plus some bonuses. So you can kind of see what other people are doing by what they have in their hand, without knowing exactly what they have. Okay. And it does have auctions in it, which I like auctions a lot. Which I thought, if I remember correctly, Alan was like, I don't like auctions. And then Tinner's Trail is like his number 1 game. So I don't know why Alan's a liar, but that just is what it is.
Well, this is where you could go ahead and like sell off, so you can like mine stuff and then you can sell it off, and then like you can go back and forth, and that market is kind of fluctuating, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks interesting. I think my hardest sell for Euro games is they have to work extra hard to sell me. Like extra hard, because I just naturally don't gravitate towards those types of games. But I do like auction games. I like having limited knowledge where you feel like you have an idea of what the other person's able to do.
Don't dig straight down. Wow, fatal. Don't dig straight down.
Apparently these mines filled out with water a lot. So I'm just saying.
Oh, what is a calzone? You're not serious, Kabuki, right?
No, it says, what is that, a calzone?
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I was
You
like,
have
what?
to read the full sentence.
I'd prefer not to. I
I know.
prefer to read in my favor of
You're
everything,
abridging-
okay?
Yes, you abridge everything. That's fair, though. I think everybody likes to abridge things until it works out into their favorite.
I think this is probably, the least expensive game of the group, Tinner's Trail, like $44.
The
It was
biggest
46
advantage it has to
bucks.
it, if you like games that have auctions in it and you like Martin Wallace, it's a game that already went over well and now it's being like updated and redone, which, like I've said before, the opposite of movies, where movies get usually worse the more of them
No, they
you
get
have.
better.
Games get better typically when they've been redone. It's very rare that a game gets redone and you're like, this is worse.
They get to fix all those little things in the rule books. They get to fix any sort of problems that they had with components. They get to make the components look better
There's
and
been
stuff.
years of people
They get
playing it and getting feedback. So typically they get better. Where like you give years of feedback of somebody of like say a movie and they just make it worse. They're like, yeah, mechanical spider. We'll get one of those in there. That's great. Yeah, and we'll also get this this rapper in there to be the side character. Yeah, that's going to be good. And you know what else we need is a love story with a ghost. Boom, done. Good. Hey, thanks for the feedback, guys. We're on it, says DC.
So Alley Cat Games makes fantastic games as far as like deluxeified games and everything. All of their games are always magnificent looking. They deliver, I want to say pretty much, they always deliver is what I'm going to say. Because I would actually have to go back and look at stats and stuff to see how quickly they're delivering close to their time. Ellen might know, but
yeah, we don't really track that.
I don't track it that much, but I know Ellen does.
I just saw a game that popped up on our timeline that I was like, oh, that game hasn't delivered yet. That's been a while.
I'm excited about this one, though, because one, it is a fantastic-looking Euro game that has a really good score on BGG. The components look amazing. I love the market portion of it, and it's a $40 game instead of a $120 game this week, which, I mean...
$120? You haven't looked at Primal. It's more.
I'm just saying.
It's
I'm
the
just
worst.
saying.
It's the best, but the
Saying.
worst.
This is the one with the arsenic expansion, too, and who doesn't want to play with an arsenic expansion?
Arsenic is always fun to play with until you accidentally swallow something. You know, they always had like that saying of like, someone's going to lose an eyeball, you know? Like, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. It's all fun and games until you swallow your work and you die. Ugh.
I think arsenic comes from apple seeds, too, I think, if I remember correctly. It's like, or at least you can get arsenic from apple seeds.
There is
just
arsenic
as a
in
node.
apple seeds,
Just
but you
as
have
a
to
node.
eat a substantial amount of them.
You do. So, but don't eat apple seeds, okay, everyone?
Or do.
Don't recommend
It's
it.
your life. That's our different philosophies.
Doctor, and all of our viewers out there, are you interested in backing this game?
No. It's got parts of it that I like, but like I said, with Euro games, I become Greg. I have to be like, oh, I'd have to try this before I buy this. So I'm never as excited about pulling a Euro game off the shelf until I've played it a few times, and then I'm like, oh man, no, I really like this game. Don't look at the art, it's great. Like that's kind of how I like post whenever I talk about like Barrage or like Ragusa, where I'm like, no, it's great. Trust me, you have to play it. But it takes me usually a time or two to play it, so I don't get that same FOMO hype that I get for other games that I come to Kickstarter for. These games are great. I pick them up in the store if I see them on sale, but I never get that same hype for a Euro game where I'm like, it's a Euro game, buy. I'm gonna need those extra tiles. For the most part, I'm like, yeah, cool, whatevs.
I'm super glad to hear that Kabuki Kid does like calzones, though.
Oh,
I was about ready to get offended. I mean, and Alan does say, but off the top of my head, I think Alley Cat Games does a pretty good job of delivering reasonably close to their promises. I agree. Because I remember getting, I think I just got, what was it, Tinder Blocks and Kitten in from Alley Cat Games or something like that. And that was a surprise. I was like, how is this already here? Like, I was expecting this to arrive much later than...
How is this already here?
Than before. Yeah, no, that's
your
nice.
old-timey voice. How is this already here?
How is that my old-timey voice?
I don't know.
I said, how is this already here? I was like, how is this already here? Yeah, like...
I like that voice.
Two totally different voices, Doctor.
Can you tell me to go take out the trash in that voice? Can you? Or no?
Why would I... What? What is happening right now?
Say it.
Take out the trash.
I will, Grandma. I will.
That's what you have to look forward to.
I'm over here, I'm like, I miss you, Grandma. She's not dead.
No,
she just lives in a different
That's what
state.
you have to look forward to later in life, okay?
That's
so
how
just
your voice
remember
is gonna
that.
be?
That's how, if it's not going to be that way, that's how I'm going to make it. And then, like...
I want to be one of those people that's like, yeah, I'll get there. Like, I always have my finger in my ear for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, Endless Winter just announced a Scratchy Ice Age inspired promo as a social stretch goal. Ooh.
Oh, that's cool. I won't talk about stretch goals until later in the stream.
I think this one here I'm really excited about trying to play because I like the market portion of it a lot.
That's fair.
And I really like Euro games. I know you don't like Euro games as much as I do.
You got to trick me into playing them.
I really feel like a lot of Euro games are just very... Well, they're really well put together, you know, because one, there's not a lot of chance in Euro games, you know? It's a lot of worker placement and stuff, and you can always plan out your turns. So, like, I lean more towards those types of games.
Right.
And...
You're not a good person. We got it. It's okay.
I didn't say that.
Yakety yak.
I
Don't
didn't
talk back.
say that.
Has everyone been watching WandaVision with that yakety yak business?
Oh, my goodness.
Yakety yak. Don't
All right,
talk back.
is anybody in chat backing Tinner's Trail? Dun, dun, dun.
It's a try before you buy from me. It's interesting, but it's not, doesn't have the hype that I need to jump on board.
All right, next up we have the Castles of Mad King Ludwig, the Collector's Edition here. This is by Bezier Games. They are moving this to 1 to 5 players now because I believe it was originally at 4 players on this. And what else? They're adding game trays in this. They're adding all sorts of craziness in this. These things are so crazy.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, the game trays.
Yeah. You can stop the video now. I'm going to clip just that part and post it later, I think. This is a game that's already been well received. We played it. Now I will say that when I played this game, I didn't love it as much as you, but at that time and place, the gaming group we played with was with another person that has 2 times as much AP as you, and somebody else who didn't like Euro games. So I'm pretty sure I just got bored because of how long everything took between turns. And there was definitely a point in time where I was like King of Tokyo or Get Out. Like if it wasn't like fast, like a King of Tokyo where you're rolling dice and doing stuff, I was out. So I really would have to give Castles of Mad King like another try now that I've got a little bit more patience for these games.
Ooh, lots of interesting stuff here coming in.
Yes.
Okay, so
Analysis Coma. I have a buddy who's just like it. Yeah.
Cohen says, no, I'll pass.
All games were 4-hour games.
On the last one. Jim says, try before I buy on the last one there. Kabuki Kid, you need to see WandaVision. Like, it's very, very unique. Let's see here. Games trays, I'm out. Says better.
That's fair.
And Alan's comment, really important. If this Castles is as crazy as the Suburbia was, it is going to be huge. And I 100% agree because the Suburbia box was insane.
But I will say that after playing Suburbia Collector's Edition, I couldn't even, I enjoyed it, but I was like, there's no way I could buy the regular Suburbia now. Because, now that I know the difference. That's kind
of how it comes,
I couldn't, I couldn't go back and buy that one. And this is a game that we do own, actually. Yeah. We have this game.
First off, I'm going to say here, for this one here.
Yeah, this does have a colossal size version.
I freaking love the updated art on this. It is so much more detailed. It's so much more color to it. It's just, it looks like the actual, your little garden is not like a regular garden. No, you have shrubs and flowers and trees and all these little things, the little fountain sprinkles going on, lily pads in the fountain, the upgraded art for this. That was one of my favorite things about building the castle because it's not just it becomes like a mousetrap style game where you're not there just to play the game. Part of the fun of Castles of the Mad King is building your little castle and being like, oh, I'm gonna put my little bedroom over here next to this.
I did the opposite. So I'm like, I'm putting these pigs in the bedroom.
I don't know if that's just me. Hold on.
I always just want to put the pigs in the bedroom. I'm like, bring those pigs in here.
Is that just me? As you're playing a building game like that, aren't you building out your dream castle as well, right?
No.
I mean, dream castle for points first, but also for dreams of being in a castle.
If I had a dream castle, 90% of it is hidden doorways. 90% of it. It'll be really bad. It'll be to the point where you're I guess everyone's just I haven't seen you in 3 days. Well, I guess everyone's just walking in the hidden passageways. We just never run into each other. That's how bad my castle would be. Because let's be real. If there's one thing that men want, if you have a man in your life and you don't know what to get him, what they want is a secret passage.
Everybody wants a secret passage. That's not a man thing. Right. Everybody wants a secret passage.
If you have a special someone in your life and you want to get them something, everybody wants one, but nobody knows how to ask for one.
Listen.
Make them a secret passage somewhere in the house. A cubby hole that's secret under the carpet, a way to get into the garage, a secret basement, an attic that you can get into through only like a secret like entrance, a revolving bookcase. Everybody wants a revolving bookcase.
There's nobody that's going to say no to a hidden passage ever in their life.
Everybody
tell me. One of you in chat, tell me, and I'm going to kick you out of chat.
You can't.
Everybody wants a secret passage.
That doesn't want something crazy secret.
Our dog would take a secret passage to the dog food if he could. Like everybody wants a secret passage.
Even the one where like the wine cellar's like under the floor and you push a button and like the door slides back and you walk down to your little wine cellar. Even that's amazing. Yeah.
Hi, Jenny. See, I concur. Stefan, you're not into castles? What the heck?
See,
don't you live where there's a bunch of castles?
Petter doesn't want any secret passages. Just wants 12. This is a 2, and you can add a 1 to it. 12.
Not a secret passage, 12 or more secret passages.
Put the candlestick back.
Put it back. Oh, such a good movie. I love that movie so much.
I don't really care about the defensiveness of the castle as much as I care about the cool tunnels inside of it. Like that's 90% of it.
If you can make the castle crazy enough where you go in enough crazy places, like you don't have to have a defense. You just get everybody lost in your castle. And
you know when everybody says those things like, what would you do if you won the lottery? Apparently I would buy a castle with a bunch of passages.
Too much walking distance to the fridge. Okay,
nope,
Stefan. You know what? Yeah, secret passage that, okay?
All right, so Stefan, here's an alternative if you don't want a castle. What you do is you set up a water slide, right, from your bedroom. So you go from your bedroom straight into the pool. You get out, and you got yourself a little mini fridge next to the pool. Boom. And it only works really in Arizona well, or any other really hot state or a hot country. But if you live in a hot enough country, or if you have a heated pool, bedroom, right outside to the pool.
I do have to say, though, with these boards here, I really, really am digging the inlaid board pieces here where you can actually...
the board.
Yeah, where basically what they're going to be making is you're going to be putting all your pieces like in these little trays, and then the trays will fit in there, and then you don't have to worry about having everything all crazy stacked up, having it fall over, because it just falls over. Like, I don't know, it just does whenever you're playing that game.
When you stack them up, yeah, it's a big mess in the normal one, because it's like anything. If you stack up enough tiles, it just takes like a brisk breeze and everything falls over. Like somebody turns on the fan and you're like,
and you're like, no, don't do
it. And all the tiles are like, you're like, I have to stack those up again. So that's be nice.
Especially if you have like where you have to stack them up, you know, like then it's over.
Yeah.
So
then the whole game is
some
ruined.
of the cool deluxe upgrades that they have in this is you're gonna get like poker style chips for these right here. You're gonna get some coins. They have the colossal upgrades that just basically makes everything gigantical because if your table's big enough, you need a bigger game for your table, okay? So if you have a big table, maybe that's what you want. Maybe you just want big tiles because they're easier to read. I don't know.
I like big tiles.
Yeah, everybody likes big tiles, but it's about the table space you have for them, okay?
We actually have, like, what, 2 giant games, I think we have? Because we have giant code names, like the big code names.
Big code names, and then
we got giant
Takanoko.
Yeah. We talked about getting more of those, then we realized we have a really small house, so we should stop buying giant games.
Giant, what was it? Rhino Hero was a fantastic game.
Yes.
I wish I could get a copy of Giant Rhino Hero.
There was a giant version of Gizmos at Come On Expo, and we...
Oh, yeah, that was so much fun.
We got a hookup where we could get, like, the plans and make it ourselves, but then it's like, where do we store it?
Yeah, I don't know where you would store a giant version of that.
I mean, I could put a smart car in the same amount of space, so it's kind of like one of those things. You can play it outside, but where do I store it is what I'm saying.
All right, so this is going to give you lots of different pledges that you can go ahead and get, but the base pledge for this is going to be $99, which is going to have all of the expansions plus new expansions in it.
Yeah,
it's not going to have it's not going to have the colossal portion, but it will have all the trays and stuff in it.
But if you notice, the colossal is like a whole separate box because it's
colossal's colossal. It's
very big.
It's going to be a tiny bit big. It's going to be a tiny bit big, okay?
That's fair.
I also like these towers. So, have we gotten to the towers yet? Did I miss the towers, everyone?
Oh, yeah. The giant Gizmo videos in our pre-video footage. I forget about that. I don't watch that. I usually sit here on my phone and do other stuff. As is evident by the way I'm never paying attention whenever she flips the camera on. I'm like, what?
They have these towers. I'm sorry. Everybody close their eyes. I'm going to scroll up like really fast because I can't believe that I like missed the towers up here. I know. Don't everybody puke. There we go. Okay, towers. Okay. So, these are going to be special individual towers that you have here that are going to give you bonus points, and then you can put these towers over top of them. They're really mostly, I think, for like, one, to add a unique sort of thing to the game and to reference other castles, because I think that first room there is like the Neuschwanstein Castle Tower or something like that. I was like looking really, really close to see if I could see like the names on them.
Everybody threw up because you did that.
I know.
I hope you feel bad.
I warned all of you ahead of time before I do it, okay?
So I shared the information from Game Trays about Tantrum House because it was Katie and Melissa, I believe, did it. And I caught a part of it, but it was really close to our live stream, so I wasn't able to watch the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
No, Melissa was there too. I think there was 3 of them. Yeah, I think most of the people from Tantrum House were on it. Anyways, they were playing with the giant version of it. It was really interesting to get to see, yeah, like some of the tiles and everything. They are huge.
How big? They're like this, like, right? Like.
You could probably, you know what? I bet you a Game Toppers table could probably handle it, Kabuki. God, I'm really smooth at this.
You're so good at the placement.
Ooh. That's what I bring out my can of Coke like.
All right, so, Doctor, would you back this game? It looks amazing.
I think we own it is the only thing that really stops me from backing it.
How dare you?
But
Burrito slap you right now.
I am very close to saying yes, just because I do like deluxeified games like this. I'm a sucker for deluxeified games, so I am on the fence. I'm not 100%. I wouldn't be sad to own it, though. Having
these trays alone is so worth it. Like, just having that stuff not fall over and everything.
And those trays do seem amazing. And I also always feel weird saying that I'm going to 100% back every single thing the Game Trays has, because realistically, with my affiliation, I should be able to get a copy of it. So I don't have to back the same
How many slices of pizza can each piece hold, asks Petter.
I
don't know.
say you could probably put 3 or 4 slices if you're talking about just height versus like supportability of a tile.
I'm 100% down with this because I feel like getting all the expansions along with it and everything. I love, 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 love the art. And I love the art specifically because I pay so much attention to that as I'm building my castle. That's like my own personal thing that I just really like about this game.
So do you want like the colossal though, like the big tiles?
I don't think that our table can support the colossal tiles, and like it would have to be just me and you for the colossal tile building. You know?
Don't have other friends anymore. I think we've played a game with like more than 2 players like twice this last year, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
Oh, I would totally do this though, and especially since we saw this big Suburbia box and everything, they did an excellent job doing that box and everything.
Was nice. I really
with all the components in it and everything. So I'm like even more excited about this because didn't Suburbia have like a light up tower and everything in it?
That was like
ridiculous.
It had a tile tower, and
the
then
tile
it also
tower
had a light
lit up.
Then it had a lit up first player marker that was like a tower.
Ridiculous and amazing all at the same time, okay? Then you can use those castle trays to form pizza dough in and then bake them and turn them into castle-shaped pizza. Yes, I love where your mind is going, Studio Laniston.
Yeah, this actually sounds pretty good.
Let us know in the comments if all of you are backing this. Like, I'm pretty sold on this one. And I already like the game, so like it was
an enjoyable
game. A very small step to get me over on this side of the fence for this, okay?
Ooh, so I better stop saying nice things about it. I'm trying to save money. I'm trying to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah, but we could just play board games and ignore everything, and it would be excellent.
Fair.
I'm not sure if this game fits, says Alan. Battlecry says pass on this one. Okay. Gameplay for me. I just might, says Fatal. Jim says, I need to play the game again. I've played it only once.
Yeah, I haven't played it for like 2 or 3 years at least. So, it's been longer than that probably. It's probably been like 4 or 5 now.
Here's the cool thing. Go back to your collection and kind of revisit it and see if it's the game for you. And then if it's something you really enjoy, then, come back to the Kickstarter and take a look, because I'm sure it's going to be even more amazing with all of this stuff they're going to unlock. It has 26 days to go. You have some time.
It is a highly rated game that has a lot of fans, so that's why they're doing a deluxe version in the first place. So it's not like it's doing bad. I think the campaign is going quite well.
Just a tiny bit.
Just
a tiny bit. Next up, we have Carnegie, the Deluxe Collector's Edition. This is by Quined Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. Should last about 40 minutes. And let's see here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is Carnegie, where like he goes through and then he gets rich and then he donates it to everybody. And in the game, you're trying to like go between like building
and being a philanthropist.
And being a philanthropist at the same time, yeah, which I thought was really interesting. Again, it's sort of like Euro marketing sort of game.
It is.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What was interesting about this one? What was it? There was something about this that I thought was, oh, so you can only take X amount of actions, but whenever you pick the action, everybody can do it if they have the resources to do it. So one of the big things that everyone really likes about like the tiny epic games like Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is that whenever you do you can always take like a follow action, right? So if somebody says, I want to produce resources, everybody gets to produce resources if they can. This game has that built in. So whenever the person whose turn it is picking something, everybody gets a chance to do that action if they're able to complete that action. And I think that makes these longer Euro-style games actually engaging. Otherwise, I just tune out at a certain point. I don't care what everybody else is doing on their turn. I just want to do my stuff.
Anti-aesthetic. This is anti-aesthetic. Wow.
So I think that was the thing that interested me the most. I will say that this is my number 2 pick of the week.
Oh, okay.
Because of that.
Really?
I thought the idea of a Euro game where you get to do something when somebody else picks something makes it that much more interesting to me. Because downtime is what kills me a lot.
I think you're 100% right on that, especially in a Euro game, because especially if you have people who have AP and then are playing a Euro game with you, and your turn can seem like it takes forever to get back around to you, like forever. And being involved in every single action on every person's turn
makes you feel super involved.
Does, the entire
when
game.
They pick something,
so you're not
like,
just sitting
yes,
there.
Or you're like, you son of a, I'm going to pick that whenever I know you don't have those resources.
Exactly. And it makes you get that extra like leap of logic there where you're picking something not only for yourself, but also maybe so hopefully half of the table doesn't get to pick that thing as well. You
See
know,
how
like
dirty she is? She's like thinking about how she can mess everybody over.
It's a super important strategy because I know if I pick something else that everybody else isn't going to be able to do, I get a free action that everybody else didn't get to do. And then the likelihood that somebody else does that action down the line that needs to do it and I'm going to benefit from it, like, it makes 100% sense because you're permitting other people not to take actions. Like, that's how you play the game. That's how it works. It's like if I made a sandwich and then it was the last of the bread and then I ate that sandwich and you wouldn't get to eat a sandwich because of that. I would still be full.
You just sound like a bad wife at this point. It sounds bad. Like, I don't make food without you. Who does that?
I made the sandwich, but you missed out, okay?
So analysis paralysis, people taking a really long time on their turn because there's so many different options, is something that's really hard for me. Because typically my turns go pretty quick until it gets to be like the last turn where I'm trying to really maximize something. So I think everyone who watches our playthroughs knows that about me, that it becomes an issue. Like if you watched our Lost Runes of Anarch last night, there was no real super AP turns, but if you noticed on my board, I had stacked up the next 2 research actions I was going to take. Like I physically take my pieces and I put them in there, so when it becomes my turn, I'm just like, and I move up, all right, your turn.
That's exactly.
And I move up, and it's your turn.
Why it makes it so easy for me to look at all your stuff and what you have ordered, and I go, that's exactly what he wants me to do.
I need to do that. I need to do that, though, because I have to do something when somebody else is playing or I get disengaged. Because if AP gets too bad, I just tell people, hey, I'm going to be on my phone playing a different game in between turns. Because it just, especially if their turns don't really affect me, because I have a hard time with people that just take forever on their turns, because I like to play the game and be in the moment, and as soon as I have like this long break, I get out of it, and I start talking, and games go forever. I mean, I played Rising Sun for like 4 or 5 hours one time, because we talked all night. Were there great stories? Yes. Did I talk about ramping my bike off of a ramp? Yes, I did. But it took forever.
Oh, you just got burned in chat, but if you took more time to think, but maybe you would win more, Doctor.
I like to think that if I win 50% of the time without having to take forever to think, then I'm really the true winner. Because that just tells me that I don't have to overthink it to win. Just going to say that.
I think it just comes down to the type of player you are. Like, Doctor is a very reactive player,
yes.
And I am a very, like,
planner,
forward-thinking,
strategy.
Yeah, strategic player. But both are really important strategies in a game, because if I come to a game where you have to be reactive, I just do poorly at it, because I have a harder time making the right decision in a reactive sort of way. So.
I'm always ready to completely pivot my turn based off what you did. Like if you go, like what happened last night, you went here and I wanted that arrowhead and that exploration token, so I was just like, okay, what am I going to do now? And so I just came up with the next best option, right?
The doctor needs a permanent screen to stack up his turns behind.
I feel that's fair. Because now that I know that she's looking, that's messed up, right? It has been like a year
Strategy
since
versus
we last
tactical.
met, Alan. I was thinking about that because we met right after her birthday last year. And then COVID happened,
gosh.
and that was it. And then I never saw anybody ever again.
Patrick says, I agree with Doc, except with Kingdom Rush. bad tactical decisions there.
It doesn't help out in some of those types of games.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
I am very much a person that likes to learn, adapt, and overcome whatever's happening to me right now. So I like those games that have more play between the players versus the ones that are just more like, you do your thing, I do my thing. Those games are more boring for me.
I think the strategy in this particular game with trying to set aside money to make sure your business is doing well and getting upgraded and stuff versus your end game points where you're putting that money towards is really, really interesting. Going to be trying to find that balance. Like, how much am I contributing to here to get my end game points? And then how much does it take to run this business to make sure this business doesn't get bottlenecked, basically, you know, because I still have to have that income flowing in order to make this game, my game, progress in this, you know?
Right.
So I think that's going to be really interesting in this.
So, Jim, this one is Carnegie, and I kind of agree with you, Patrick. I like to think that I play somewhat reckless until, like, the end, but I can usually maximize my last few turns to make the difference. And truthfully, when we look at our stats of us playing together, it is about 50-50. She almost always wins the first time we play the game. And the second time I usually win it because now that I've played it, I have a better understanding of what's happening and everything, and I'm able to maximize a little bit better. But then if we play it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, then it's anybody's game at that point.
So the starting price for this game is $80 as you're going along. They're going to have, well, this silkscreen printed discs and everything. You're going to get all the normal Kickstarter upgrades, extra tiles, and stuff like that as you're going.
Oh, and this
There's
one,
a lot of nice stuff.
Isn't there something about this one where, like, the Kickstarter version, there's going to be a specific Kickstarter version, then there's going to be a different retail version with just cardboard? And I feel like with this one, you were getting a lot more tiles and stuff with the Kickstarter one.
Oh, definitely with this one, yeah.
Didn't get. So when you look at this campaign and you scroll down, if it's got the K next to it, that's just for Kickstarter, like that right there is Kickstarter.
Right.
That's for everybody. That's for everybody. Those silk screen things, just for Kickstarter. So for this one, if you're interested, I would recommend getting it on Kickstarter because it does seem like you're getting more, including just more variety to the overall game.
If you're a Euro gamer too and you're trying to pick between Tinner's Trail and Carnegie because they are both Euro style games, just note that both of them are on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah,
so if you want to try before you buy,
Arena too. This one, it's also
this one is on Board Game Arena as well. So if you want to try before you buy, because I know that sometimes these Euro style games are not always as flashy as some of the like Ameritrash sort of games. So. Yeah. I don't feel like they get as much love sometimes.
This one, I feel like this would be a back for me if the next game we're talking about wasn't there. I think that's the biggest issue. The next game that we're going to talk about costs so much money that I'm like, I can't do both.
I have some words with that too, anyway. I got some words with that. All right, chat.
I hope those words are nice.
Would you back this game? Doctor?
I'm very close to backing this game, but it doesn't bring the same FOMO excitement that our next game does.
Here's all the Kickstarter tiles. This is where I want to scroll up to so you all saw this. How many extra Kickstarter tiles
There's a lot
that you're going to be getting through this campaign here. So I do feel like it is worth it. You're going to be getting lots of extra content if you are interested in this particular game here.
There was something else about this that I thought was really cool too. I know that there's a little boards underneath that you slide out that opens up like more
yeah, I thought that was
options.
really cool, yeah.
There was something else
Primal
about
is
this.
next, Dale.
There was something else about this game that I thought was really interesting. I'm trying to think of what it was now. Here's the problem. Since we looked at basically like 3 euros
I
in a
know,
row,
right? My
like,
mind is like melded them together,
them
especially
together.
because like their art is similar. I feel like Tinner's Trail and Carnegie, although it's not exact art, you still have that same sort of feel to it. And I understand that Euro gamers like that. You can look at the box and be like, this is probably a Euro game, you know?
Right.
And that Euro gamers probably go towards that art, but it doesn't make it a defining thing in my mind where I can go, oh yeah, that's this game. I just think, oh yeah, it's that Euro game, and then it gets classified into a whole bunch of other stuff.
I agree. I feel like the Ameritrash style tends to be more unique, where it'll be like maybe anime, or it'll be like chibi, or it'll be like in this style, or it'll be like hot rod style, back where they did like the rat rods and everything. Like there's a lot of different styles in there. It's just open to any style you want. Where with Euro games, they do kind of Like, you could stack a bunch of Euro games together. It'd be like stacking a bunch of those, like, leather-bound books together, where you'd have to read each tile to know the difference, because they just kind of look like a wall of leather-bound books, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Euro games are like that. They're, like, great for display purposes if you want to, like, drink your cognac in your smoking jacket and look at your games. Where I prefer, like, the excitement that you get from these Ameritrash ones, where all the art is different and eclectic, and I just like having a whole bunch of different art.
Okay, so Dale had said, so the Primal game is next, and Fatal says, the only word necessary is yes, hound. We also have, I only have one liver, and Primal is coming up as far as backing it. Most games for me are try before you buy, especially with Euro, says Kabuki Kid, and that's really understandable. Absolutely.
And to be fair, one of the things that Greg always brought to the show was he has a greater love for Euros. He plays more of them.
That's one of the big reasons why we had Greg on the show, is because his taste differed from ours.
I could always hope that he would back one of these, and then I could just play it and then decide if it was really good, I will buy a Euro, but I have to play it to know it. Like Carpe Diem was really good, but I didn't also feel like I needed to own it, because I don't think I'd play it on my own, only with a group of 4, which is Greg, his wife, you, and me. Or
that he would come at it from like a different angle, because I feel like you definitely have a very like Ameritrash love, where I have a very like high,
more gamers,
high strategy,
solitaire
tactical
style,
sort of style.
And then Greg comes at it.
Greg was very Euro based.
And to be fair, Greg is also very fanboy for designers too. He's like, this is a Reiner Knizia. This is a this.
Oh my God, is that Reiner Knizia?
He's got like very specific designers that he loves. Where I'm the opposite. When I look at a game, I'm like, oh, this one's by Rob Davenau too. Like, I didn't know he did this one also. I'm always surprised by who the designer is, because I'm like, oh, they did this game too.
I agree with...
I don't follow designers.
Patrick, as Patrick said, I like Greg too being a voice of reason too. I believe it allowed you two to be more enthusiastic. You know what? Hashtag Greg is a lie. We have talked to Greg, and we do hope that Greg will come back in the future, okay? It's just a matter of all of this sort of COVID stuff being safer for everybody, and everybody getting shots and stuff like that.
And as you know, he evaluates properties, so he has to be out and about, and his wife has to teach, and they're doing in-person schooling, so
it's
we're able to stay home. Like, we don't go out, as we discussed. We drove 420 something miles, and 300 of it was our one-day trip out to Flagstaff to hike and come back. So we drove 140-ish miles, and that includes my commuting to work all of January and February. So we didn't get out very much this year. So we're not going to mix with Greg currently, but whenever vaccines happen, which he should be on the list soon, I don't think we are.
Yeah.
We definitely get back together with Greg. We liked having him on the show.
It's always our plan to have Greg back on the show, everyone. We want to make sure everybody knows
Greg.
that. Yeah.
He wasn't sweaty. I just wanted to diss him.
All right, Doctor, would you back that?
Like I said, I'm very close. The cost of this campaign makes me feel like I don't have...
You can't talk about this campaign yet. Would you back that?
I want to, but I don't feel like I have the money to.
Okay. All right. I would say I would back that. It looks really interesting. I like the push and pull going on in it. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Primal, The Awakening. Now, this is by, Reggie Games? I apologize. I'm sure I mispronounced the name on that one. I forgot the pronunciation. It's for 1 to 4 players. This is a cooperative monster hunting game. Doctor, take it away. You're supposed to take it away, Doctor.
Oh my God. All right, so here's the deal. Primal is this epic style boss battling game that has card management and cooperative in it.
Okay.
You've got different characters that have like these very distinct weapons. Now they're hammers, they're bows, there's things like that, but they're very unique. You can have a very different weapon, have to play your character very differently.
Wow, look at that Euro dragon.
That is a very Euro dragon.
It's very Euro looking. Euro weaponry.
I like to feel like I don't get tricked by miniature games a bunch because I don't paint miniatures, so I don't get super into them. But this is, so we looked at Townsfolk Tussle. We know about Kingdom Death Monster, of course. We don't really own any just straight up boss battling games. So this is a niche we don't have. And I liked everything I've seen about this one. When this one came out, I watched the intro video twice.
Hold on. I just have to say, this is exactly how you start trying to convince me. You're like, hold on, Gloryhound. This is a game style we just don't have in our collection. That's how it all starts, okay? That's how it all starts.
All right, so here's the deal. I watched the intro twice. I've watched it 4 times now, but I watched it twice when I first heard about it. I went through and I was like, these minis are cool, but I didn't over focus on the minis because I will drool and get excited about the minis when I have them in hand, right? So I just kind of scroll through and I go, oh, there's cool minis. And I don't look at much more than that because I know that I can get super enticed by really cool minis. I mean, I know that's a weakness I have. So I try to scroll through it. Looking at it, the fact that it's a card game, it's a cooperative game, it's a boss battling game, that it's got like these really awesome tactics in it where if you end your turn in front of this monster, this will trigger. If you can get behind this monster and attack its tail for the X amount of damage, this event will trigger. If you go to this left side and your partner is flanking on the other side, this event will trigger. If you use poison, this event will trigger. There's like all these different things that happen based off the characters, the way you're using them, the battle. You can get knocked out and you're out for a couple rounds before you come back. Every monster has its own tactics. You get like 13 monsters in the base box. I'm excited. I'm a little tiny bit excited.
Cole and I would be down with that. We backed Skinny Mini campaign for having the thin miniatures instead of actual 3D models and stuff.
I could see doing it.
I always like that, but
this one I feel like with a game where your whole focus is just really the boss battle, I feel like having these epic size, right?
Yeah.
It's like why we backed the dragons in Arcadia Quest because they are these big dragons. If they were standees, it wouldn't be as exciting.
Look at this cute little kitty.
Hey, I love Dwellings of Eldervale, but I think I would like it a little bit more with the minis. At first, I was like, I don't need them. The standees are fine, but the minis look pretty cool. I think it'd be a little bit scarier having that mini move around the board.
I just want this kitty.
You can have that kitty with a simple
cute.
pledge.
He's so cute.
Is that one? Yeah, that's one of the base ones, I think.
He's such a cute kitty. It just makes me want to pet him.
That's one of the base ones. I feel like they did a pretty good job with the art in this one. The art looks exciting. I've never played Monster Hunter, by the way, so I'm not coming at it from that perspective.
Okay.
I was interested in Kingdom Death Monster. It was really expensive. We weren't super doing Kickstarters, I think, at that point in time. It might have been when we were like not doing the show or something, like a short period break or whatever. And so it was just too expensive. I couldn't get into it. Well, this one looks really exciting. This feels like an epic battle. And the fact that I get to play a co-op with you seems really exciting.
Let's see here. But 3D standees like Legends of Andar or Photosynthesis. No.
I like standees, but I think this one, since the focus is on that one particular monster, and then you've got those 4 regions, and the monster moves around based off it. There's like tank and aggro. This reminds me of playing World of Warcraft, where I would be like the paladin, and you'd be like the shadow priest, or when we would be purposely like I'd use my void walker, and I'd be throwing dots on him with my warlock, and you'd be over there like doing fireballs at him, and I'd be like, oh crap, he's turned on you, and you'd be like, run, and you'd be running, and I'd be throwing dots at it, and I'd be chasing the monster like behind you, throwing all these different, damage over time spells on the monster as he's chasing you, and then you'd get killed, and then he'd turn around after me, and I would start running, and I'd sacrifice my demon to get extra health or a shield or whatever, and I'd be running, and then it would die, and then we'd be like, yeah, we'd high five, because we sat in game chairs right next to each other for hours.
For Cohen's thing on 3D standees, like Legends of Andor and Photosynthesis, I feel like, I know that a lot of games do have miniatures in their games, and sometimes they can be passed by. You're like, this game really didn't need miniatures. But for a particular game in this style, where you're focusing on a monster that has that very large grandeur over the other characters in it, it really sets the stage for that Amerithrash feel of the game. So I feel like it would almost be a disservice to make it standees in this particular game. That's not how I always feel.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry. When I'm saying dots, I am talking about damage over time. Sorry, that is a World of Warcraft terminology. I try to say what my acronyms are whenever I do them. You are correct. I would even be okay if the characters were standees, but the monster has to be a mini. Because each one of these monsters reacts differently too. So like if I'm fighting this giant turtle that does all these crazy things, I want to have a physical representation on my board that I'm like, oh man, look at that spiked tail. And then to know that spiked tail is going to whip around and hit me, is important to me. Yeah, see, Patrick knows that World of Warcraft story is very relatable. Having to run around and stuff. That was our jam. We played Mage and Warlock almost. Well, we did it multiple times.
We basically just kited everything between the two of us.
Yeah, we would use my Void Walker until we grabbed aggression from the monster, and then we would run like scared little babies
and just
hope that your fireballs would eventually grab the monster's attention.
Aggro back,
and then I would throw a bunch of damage over time spells on it, and then hopefully one of us would live to let the damage over time spells kill it. That's what would happen.
That's just what you did.
Yeah, that's what you do. Just little things.
Let's see here. You're right about the miniatures. Did you see the stretch goals? Not so amazing. Doubts about that. I'm backing all in to be clear. Okay.
Here's the cool thing about the stretch goals. They haven't been super amazing, but they're automatically added in, which tells me that this is pre-planned content. They're not just going, oh, we'll add an extra monster, and it's just going to be a monster that's not really thought out or anything else. They definitely know what monsters they want to add to this. There is a story to this, too. You could just do a skirmish, but there is a storyline, and you can play it like 11 to 15 times based off of how many times you lose to this monster. If you die a bunch of times in the first one and then you go through, you can only die so many times before your campaign's considered a failure. Like the whole campaign, too.
And you're so just like, bam, 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 start over.
Yeah, so although you can come back,
man.
It does, like, they track that, and you get things like you're getting, like, regens. Like if you're doing, like, think about if you're playing something like Skyrim, right, where you kill a dragon, you get dragon bone, and you might get some, like, herbs. You get that from this game, too, which is going to help you build like potions and buffs, and I think can help you upgrade weapons and things like that from what I understand.
I'm crossing my fingers for you, Kabuki. You know, this is exactly why, Doctor, I didn't even like look into this, is because I knew it was going to be like, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days worth of research that you put into this, and so I wasn't going to need to.
That's fair.
Because there was going to be a little bit of a tangent that started happening here.
And you have to, like, with the card play, you have to really maximize how you're using your cards in order to do the right damage at the right time.
Okay.
I think that one of the biggest critiques people were saying is that, like, technically the cards are, like, red, blue, and yellow or something like that. So you could be, like, if you weren't super into the theme, you could be like, I played a red, which lets me trigger this blue. But there's, like, combos that you're doing. So you're like, I'm using my axe and my bow, which is going to trigger this effect, and maybe fire is going to happen, or I'm going to use this potion or this spell or this artifact. There's a lot of different things you're going to do with it, and it sounds like the characters are unique enough, and that more importantly, that the weapons are unique enough that if you have a bow, you're going to play differently than if you have a shield. And every character seems like they play a little bit differently. So I'm really excited about that aspect of it. So the real question to me is, do you spend the $160 or do you do the $300?
So Studio Lanniston says, critically looking at the minis, I see a lot of similar poses and areas with low details, flat areas. They're big, okay, but they're not all that interesting to me. That's interesting. Okay.
Also, to be considered, these are renders. Like, these aren't actual printed minis at this point. So I'm sure some of that will be worked out. But like I said, there's lots of games that have low-res miniatures, and I feel like these ones will be good miniatures. They might not be Awakened Realms miniatures, but I don't think they're going to be cheap miniatures either. They will look good.
Dale says, I want to hate this game, but I think it's going to take my money first. And I agree with you. Yes, I also want to hate this game too. Yeah.
After backing ISS Vanguard for $160,
I don't want to back this game, but it looks good.
Trust me, I went into this with a preconception that I'm probably not going to like this game. I don't really want to get it. But the more and more I looked at it, I was like, dang, this looks good.
So Cohen says, not clear. This will be available in retail, so backing it now. One of the big things about some of these big box games like this
is
that...
They're impossible to take to retail.
And not only that, like, even if they did make a little bit after the fact and everything, like, they never plan for the game to totally blow up and get, you know, tons and tons of copies. So if it turns out to be, like, everybody's must-have game, then you run into Tainted Grail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I still can't find Tainted Grail for a good price.
You know, and it sucks because sometimes it's one of those things, it's like you're like, I have to back this because I'm really interested in it. I really, really want it, but I don't know if it's going to be available for me at retail when it comes around, you know?
So here, I was actually thinking about some of the really big games we've backed recently that are kind of like co-op and everything too. And I was thinking ISS Vanguard, but that one's really story-based. I was thinking about Frostpunk, but I'm like, that one is really about trying to save the world while, you know, the world's freezing over, and it's a cooperative game, and it's a really hard game. It's not like this. All of the big games that we've backed recently, none of them are just a giant boss battler like this. And it's got a simplified region. It doesn't seem overly complicated, but there seems like there's depth to it. There's a story behind it. Your characters look cool. You get to upgrade your weapons and do all this crazy stuff with them. I think my biggest thing is, like, I want to get it at the 300, but I don't know if I can justify that because just getting you more monsters, and if you're already getting 13, I feel like that's
seems
probably
like a
enough.
lot, yeah.
I feel like that's probably enough, and we don't need that 5th player because I'm only going to play this at 2-player. I highly doubt I'll ever play this with more. Maybe like if Alex comes over or something, or if our kid wants to play it, right? But I don't see anything else like this. The amount of hype around this is going to be incredible. I'm excited to get it to the table to play it live with everybody. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going for this.
Ooh, look at this pretty dragon. Who's this dragon?
That's going to be from expansions.
Oh, that's so pretty.
So
Look
that's
at
the feather
it.
expansion. And to be fair, if you do want the expansions, it is a much better deal to get it at 300 than to spend 50 for each expansion.
Well, that's true.
Because it's three
what?
expansions plus a 5th character.
What is this business? Hold on.
That's true.
Why are these ones so pretty?
Hey, look at what Cohen said. If you play Marvel Champions, you're going to spend way more playing that than this, technically, when it's all said and done. That's fair. I have honestly can say I've spent way more on Magic in a year. Way more on Magic the Gathering.
Wow, Cohen, geez.
Yeah, Cohen, jeez.
Stop trying to tempt all of us on here, okay?
Yeah, the 5th player does look, it's just like another character, but it is also another female character, which does say something that there's only, I think, 1 female in the core. And I think the 5th player, that would make it 2 female, 3 male. That can be very important to people. I mean,
Well, very true.
I pick the character best off of how cool their weapons are more than the actual gender. But, I mean, I don't blame my wife or my daughter wanting to play female characters because who wouldn't want to play their own gender that's a BA? I'm not going to spell out that acronym
I only
for
play
you.
female characters if there's no old man I can play.
If there's an old man scientist with like a cigar and a bottle of cognac, she does tend to
That's
go
my
that way.
_1 character to play.
Here's the deal. Can I make this an easier back for you? Ready? Flip the camera. Flip the camera. Here's the thing. I have this $50 gift card. I have $15.
Take that.
Hold on. Hold on. I have.
Oh, yeah.
I have this money clip and this watch that I think are really nice because you bought them for me for my birthday.
I don't want to take that.
Can we get the game? I think I covered like $65 when it's all said and done.
What if I just, I say, I'll think about it.
Whoa, my mommy gave me this $50 gift card for the holidays, so you can't just take it, okay? That's from my mommy. She would be sad if you took my monies. She probably meant it for you. She likes you so much more.
Oh my gosh. I've made a cognac disco party to play.
Does anybody else want to
Discord.
donate to my Primal Kickstarter for myself where I'm trying to kickstart us buying this game?
Oh my goodness.
Let's do a communal pot. Hey, if we all put in $1, then I can get the game and I can show it off on camera for everybody. I feel like that's a really good deal.
Battlecry says, wait, half of that was already hers. That's right, Battlecry.
Battlecry, you need to calm down. She takes more than her fair share. Trust me. She lives off the philosophy of what's yours is mine and what's mine is still mine. So back off.
Well, you know what?
I can't tell you every time she says, that's not for you. And she means it. She means it.
I may be a little bit greedy, okay?
A little bit greedy. Luckily, I'm a very giving person, so it works out in the end. But yeah, I'm super, I mean,
here's the problem.
the expansion is really good too.
I was like, okay, well, maybe we can do like this one right here, but I'm looking at these beautiful, why are the monsters so much prettier in the expansions, everyone?
I could do it for the 165, right? I could do it for the 165. If you wanted to go all out, I'm not going to tell you no, but I would be okay with the 160, you know, and get like the base game because it does come with 13 monsters, which is a lot of monsters. And
Patrick,
with the $300 you're adding a whole bunch more boxes we have to store too.
stop giving us logical stuff, okay? That just means we're going to have to back the game, okay?
Look, Andrew says he'll give us 300
There you
KR.
go.
I don't know what probably a krona
maybe
or something. I
that
don't know what that.
$3?
I don't know what that turns out to be, but
Is
it's
that
pretty good.
$3? I'm so tempted at the $300 pledge, but much more likely to back at the base level. Here's the thing, everybody. If you are unsure about whether you want to back the base level or the super crazy $300 level, you can always back at the base level and then change it once you get that lovely, lovely little whoever they're going through, game found or whatever it is.
Or, I mean, realistically, if you love it enough and you play through it enough that you feel like you need the expansions, you can buy them one at a time. Is it more expensive overall? Yes. It's like if you pay for your car insurance monthly, it's more expensive than if you buy it at 6-month chunks or yearly chunks. But that's just the way it goes. And you might find that there's some expansions you're way more excited about than other ones, too. So, I mean, that's your own personal money. I'm not going to tell you about that. But if you're interested in the game, I would have to say it's definitely a back for me, at least at the 160. I wouldn't be sad about the 300, but I understand if it doesn't work right now with our funding. But yeah, definitely for the 160. And if you're interested in it, I would get it because I don't see this being something that you can just find on the market for cheap. It's going to be expensive.
Look at it this way. If you lived in Canada like I do, this would be way more expensive than the U.S. You're saving money by not living further north. See, I like your reasoning, Studio Lannison. Just Joe Blog says, I could not justify the $300 level. Probably. Maybe.
Right. And I get it. Hey, I know 3 or 4 of our viewers bought Dwellings of Eldervale today, Legendary Pledges. So I know that the money is tight. Yeah. It's after the holidays. I will say, though, that during the month of, like, December, January, I think we pretty much backed ISS Vanguard, and that was it, right?
Yeah, I tried to be
That was our big one that we backed.
Yeah, I'm scrolling up where nobody can see so they don't get all sick and everything. Okay, so this has 11 days left to go on it here. So make your decisions by then.
Here's the deal. I knew nothing about this game except for Jeremy Howard mentioning it a couple times on Facebook and everything. And
Before you started digging into it.
And I waited for his review because I watched Alex from Board Game Co. and I was like, okay, yeah, we'll see what he said.
Right.
His pros and his cons. I was really waiting for Jeremy Howard's view on it, though, because this was his most anticipated game for 2020, I think, but it got pushed to 2021 or whatever that was. He did like a 45-minute preview for it for Man vs. Meeple. Like, it was intense. And I watched it, and he talked about more than just the prologue, which is what mostly everybody else covered, and the storyline in it and everything else. It gave you some more information. So if you want more information, I would look at Jeremy Howard's Man vs. Meeple one. It was very well done. Am I jealous? Yes. Do I wish I could have got my hands on the prototype? Yes. Are there legitimate people, quotes out there like Alex from Board Game Co. saying, like, even if this was the thing, like, I would buy it like this, as the prototype is good enough that I would just buy this for the price? Obviously, I'm excited about it. I don't have anything else like this in the collection. I've got $65 from holiday money that I can donate. If you want this game, I would back it if you can find a way to make it, reasonable for you. Ooh, $3.85 Canadian.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, we're saving like $85 by being American, okay?
I went all in. Dale says I went all in on Command's animation collection and then came out. So expensive this month.
Fair.
I know,
That's
right?
Fair.
Oh, Jeremy loved this game. Yes, he did. I trust his opinion. Like, he did an excellent review on it. So $2 US gets you access to the Pledge Manager. Always a good way to do it because it's $2. It's $2 to save a spot, basically. Save a spot in line for yourself. And then if you decide later on, oh, such and such came up and such came up, like I can't back this game or something, it's a good way to do it. And plus you're supporting that creator as well for your $2. Like, I don't mind putting $1 or $2 in to basically get Pledge Manager access to something.
I feel like
it's funding.
I feel like this is one that, if I was running the Kickstarter account, which it's you, I would put it in for the 165 or like the 160, the base pledge, because I know I for sure at least want that. And then if it makes sense to go for the 300 whenever it comes up, I would push that button. But like I said, I'm okay with either. I don't want to spend the $160. I wanted to not like this game. I wanted it to be a game that I'm like, oh, it's just another dungeon crawl. We don't need one of those. I can talk myself out of it. I can't talk myself out of this one. I'm stupid hyped for it, and I don't know why. It's bad. Well, I mean, I gave you my reasons why. But.
Okay, so let us know in the comments if all of you are backing this game here. So jealous about the table at Allenbert. Yes, I'm also jealous about the Wormwood table. Those tables are gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Can't you work out getting a prototype from Quackalope? Does Quackalope have it or just Board Game Co.?
I think Quackalope had it.
Oh, no, wait, he did, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think Quackalope had it because of Board Game. A lot of times these prototypes get moved around between multiple people, right? So sometimes, like, if Game Boy Geek gets it, we can get it, or we pass it the other way. So a lot of times it's about locality, where you're at. Sometimes one of the reasons why Jesse from Quackalope gets a lot of games is because he's single, and I'm just saying this for a reason, and he can drive. So, like, he drove to go see Alex working. He drives to New York to meet up with people. He drives to Florida to do stuff. So, like, he does drive around a lot. We just don't have that availability. We're very much quarantined. And so, unless somebody local in Arizona gets it, we're probably not going to get the pass off.
Kabuki says, I use my dining room table with a huge rollout neoprene mat that never leaves it. Totally.
That's kind of how our dining room table is now. It's gotten to the point now where it's like the Lost Ruins of Ironark is set up here on this table, and I'm probably going to set up another one on
our other table
in the
living
room.
Yeah,
and
so
that's kind of how it's going.
Have like a rotation going, and then we're like, Eat on the floor, child.
I am still of the mindset that I would much rather have really great games than a really great table. But I hope to one day be at the point where I can fund a good table and it makes sense.
Okay.
But, I mean, this game topper is great for anybody who's in that in-between stage, for sure.
So, Doctor.
Yes.
We have our lovely burritos out today.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to spend your burrito / gift money on /
My burrito plus this $65 would like to go towards Primal.
Towards Primal.
Then it's only a $100 game. It's just $100. That's
your reasoning is still.
That's not much. It's just $100. Hey, Carnegie was like $80 or something, right? So like $20 more to get Primal. It's only a $100 game if you've got some holiday
I really
money.
wanted the Mad Castle thing, but
so here's the thing with the Mad Castle thing. I like it too. Between Game Trays and the Game Boy Geek, I'm sure we can get access to it. I feel like. I'm really trying hard to justify this here. I feel like we could go borrow the collector's edition.
Number one on Primal, huh?
Yeah. We're not gonna be able to get Primal from those people. Those people. You know who they are.
All right, I'm gonna say, give me that money. We'll do Primal. We'll do Primal. We'll do Primal. Jeez.
I didn't even want to back Primal.
I wasn't even going to back Primal.
It looks good though, right?
How dare you?
How
dare
dumb
you
is it
talk
that it
me
looks
into
this
it?
good?
Jeez. The Doc's Burrito is going towards Monster Throw. Kat, what's your number one? I was going to say that it was definitely the Mad Castle because I love the art in that and I would love to see it big and everything. Like, it's Mad Castle is one of my I don't know if it's one of my top 10, but it's up there, okay? Like, I really, really enjoy it. Everybody in chat's blowing up about Primal.
I would love to get even a copy of the prototype for Castle Making. I think, doesn't Game Boy Geek have it? Because he did a video.
The prototype, yeah.
The prototype. So we can at least borrow the prototype. Yeah. And I would ask Tantrum House, but here's the thing. You can't ask Tantrum House for anything because there's like, what is there, like 4 couples on there? I feel like we're really low on the list of asking Tantrum House for a game. When there's
they
4
probably
couples,
rotate between, yeah.
You know, like, you're like, hey, when all 4 couples are done, can we get a copy? Like, can we borrow it? Like, I feel like we're low on that list.
I call it the Mad Castle, Peter, because it's my castle, and I'm the mad person in it because I'm building it. Like, it's my Mad Castle, okay? That's how I feel when I play it.
Here's the deal. I think we could be at Game Boy Geek's house and break into it and get out in less than an hour. It would take us an hour to get into that house, get the game, and get out. He doesn't even have to know we're there. Listen, I have a certain set of skills that I haven't used in a while that I think might be applicable in this situation.
I don't think that's going to work out for you.
I probably shouldn't have said that online.
Yeah. That's a little sus now.
I am most definitely not going to steal anything from Game Boy Geek, okay? I will ask first.
So Cohen says, Primal would be harder to find afterwards on that. Totally agree. Absolutely.
Castle of the Mad King Ludwig, I mean, if you really enjoy that game, I say go all out on it because you know you like it.
It's not a burrito. This is a freaking all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for the family. No, it's several burritos for many, many months.
Only a $100 game, guys. Because of my gift card.
2 months-ish worth of burritos, but because of your gift card, it'll be like a month and a half-ish worth of burritos or something.
Game Brook Geek, I get that.
Okay, so what do we have planned for this remainder of the week and everything? Tonight, we're going to be playing Vampire the Masquerade Coteries. It's going to be super fun. It's on Nintendo Switch. It's a story-based game where you kind of choose your own adventure. The art in it is fantastic. And I'm going to be introducing the Doctor to that tonight.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about it. And we're doing that just for fun. Like, most of our content is self-funded. I mean...
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
We'll tell you if there's, like, a promotion involved. But most of the time, we're just playing it with our own money because we want to play and we want to show it to you.
Yeah, to hang out with all of you out there. Because we always appreciate all of you hanging out with us in chat. We really, really enjoy chat so much.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I justify some of these purchases by saying, come on, it's what the fans would want. It's what they want. Can we disappoint them? I mean, come on. They want to see the game.
I'll be missing that because of WandaVision. How dare you, Petter? You can watch WandaVision later.
Yeah, Petter. Petter is always good about following up, though.
World of Darkness, yes.
It is a World of Darkness game.
It's Vampire the Masquerade Coteries.
And then this weekend, we're trying really hard. So we're going to have the Roxy game coming up, right?
So
Radlands.
Radlands will be on Thursday next week.
And then
Tuesday would be Cubitos.
Right, we're going to play Cubitos from AEG,
Regular.
which that should be able to be ordered in February. So we wanted to play that one so that you can see it to see if that's something you want to order.
Right, regular Kickstarter show next week.
Of course, we're going to Kickstarter show, but I think this weekend we're really trying to get through some of these games because for a really long time, our shelves were not full, and I used to buy stuff on sale a lot. And so we're trying to get through some of them. So I think we're going to try to get through like Altiplano and maybe like another game this weekend to try to get through some of our shelf of opportunity and see if they're games that we want to keep. Because I know I ripped 3 games off of our shelf and put them down today to make room for Lost Rooms of Anarch. I had to make room.
We should do a whole thing on that where we're like going through our shelves and being like, you're rough.
Here's the deal. I think I discussed this a lot in Discord. It's like with movies. When I watched Thor from Marvel, I enjoyed it. When I watched Thor Dark World, I thought it was okay, but I'm glad it was there because it continues the story. When I watched Ragnarok, I was like, this is great. So if I had to make a choice, Thor 1 and Thor 2, they're off the shelf, right? I might watch Thor 1 again at some other point. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. But Ragnarok kicks the other 2 off the shelf. I'd much rather watch Ragnarok if I can only watch one. That's kind of where we're at with games now, where there's only so much room on the shelf. So sometimes they're good games, but I think that currently I have a new favorite. And so sometimes things need to rotate. And let's be honest, board games, there's definitely, when you're covering Kickstarter stuff, there's always a new influx of games. There's going to be new hype. And some games, when you compare it to a game you played 5 years ago, to a new game that's coming out, and the ones you're most excited about, sometimes you got to rotate them. You got to rotate them.
So if you are all new to our channel, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. If you're not new to our channel, please make sure to like and subscribe, okay?
Anyways, yeah.
Ring that bell. Give us a thumbs up. That helps us get up in the search engines, and it makes it so more people see our stuff, and we can hang out with more people because we all love hanging out with you.
Make a YouTube account in your mom's name and subscribe to our channel. We've all done it. Hey, we've all done it. How do you think we got our first 50? They're all variations of my mom.
Oh, it'd be fun to see your shelves and the poor attempt of calling. That's how it is. Every single one.
I will give you one right now that's very controversial.
And Discord Disco Party, now with Cognac, absolutely. If you want to join our Discord, there are links for all of the places where we're at and our Discord channel below if you want to go ahead and click on any of those.
I want to give them one. I took off 7 Wonders off my shelf, and it has the broken token insert in it too. So it's got like aftermarket stuff in it. Off the shelf because we had such a good time playing It's a Wonderful World, and we've played... Now, we've played 7 Wonders a lot. I did some tournaments with it back in the day and everything, where I would go to tournaments at the local game shops and conventions and everything. I just feel like It's a Wonderful World is a fresher take. And if I'm going to play that style of games, they are in the same sphere of games, that I'm probably going to pick It's a Wonderful World over 7 Wonders. Partially because it's new and exciting, and there's some campaign aspects to it, and there's the new expansions that I got to go through.
Well, that's like a whole different chat, because I could be like, oh, but we kept 7 Wonders dual because that's amazing.
But we did keep 7 Wonders dual because that's a really good 2-player game. So it's not because the game is bad, but I feel like It's a Wonderful World is the game I'm going to reach for more often. And so a lot of times that's the way I look at it. If I'm going to play...
personal to everybody.
Yes, of course. If I'm going to play a worker placement game that has deck building in it, which one would I grab first? And some genres, we have 4 or 5 games in that same genre, but
everyone,
you got to pull them off.
You know what? I want to hear in the comments below what game you would take off your shelf right now to make room for Primal. So make sure to go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Thank you so much for everybody joining us today. We really appreciate it. And we will see all of you later today. Bye.